remember, this is everyone's area, so if you see any...
And I'll have you sit in this journal. So, do you have any nails? I'm just curious. I'm pretty sure. Okay. I'll kind of show you the technique for the right hand that instrument uses now with the columbo. You guys generally don't wear like a big nails for that, so I'm going to teach you kind of like a better technique. And so one thing that you can do is to put your first finger and thumb together like that. And you see how like if you were to put them down onto your other finger, yeah. Perfect. And so there are two ways you can stroke the string. And one is to go with the nail side and push outward, right? Just like this. Yeah, excellent. And you want to, you know, push across and through to the next string. But in a way that it stops at the next string. So it goes pluck, and then you kind of rest at the next string. Yeah, and you don't have to push down very hard either. It's more of an across motion this way. Yeah, excellent. And the other, obviously, the other direction is to come back. Yeah, and it's the same kind of thing where the finger will stop at the next string. Excellent. And with one of the nice things about having those two types of strokes, we'll call this inward and this outward, or in and out, is that with the inward stroke you get both the flesh of the finger and the nail too, because usually the nails are a little bit longer, so you get, do you hear how you get there's the fleshy sound,
yeah,
and then also the nail kind of adds that articulation right at the other. So there's a couple different things that you can do with all of these. Well, not a couple. There's a lot of different things. I tend to use, you know, these four fingers and a lot with going nail and outward strokes closer to this nut area, kind of raking down and then coming back up with the first finger. So there's a lot of stuff that can happen quite easily with the third and the first finger. And I know that's not like a kind of a normal pairing that people would think of right away. Usually you think kind of like the adjacent fingers, right? So there's a lot that you can do with what would be like a single stroke. These two fingers. You know, so different pairings of these two fingers and these two fingers, or all of them together. And you can do, so you can do two, you know, and in both directions. You can also do three, you know, just going all the way, and then going, starting again with that first finger. And you can go the opposite direction. And I'll have you sit over here and show you. I'm just kind of going through them fast so you have an idea of some of the things that we can actually try. There's a technique where you can go, we'll go 1, 2, call these first, second, and third, 1, 2, 3 fingers. So 1, 2, 3, 2, to do a 4 pattern, right? As opposed to, you know. So there's those kinds of variations using those fingers and those single strokes. There's also what would be the equivalent of, like, if you're drumming like a double stroke roll, you go in and out on the same string. And the same thing in that you can do single stroke and alternate between the fingers. You can also do double stroke and alternate between the fingers. Too. So these are, you know, just kind of generally some of the main techniques that you can use with this hand. And so with the principle of this instrument, right, you've got this spiral bridges, and you've got all your pitched strings on this side.
They're too hot. Can you turn on?
Oh, too hot.
Too hot.
So you do most of your playing on this side, and mostly with the right hand, and sometimes with certain songs and stuff, you might accompany with the left hand over on this side while you do something up here. And then this side is the fun side, it's on the side. So these are all just undetermined pitches. And how you normally use this side melodically is by pressing onto the string, right, to change the pitch. And that should sound pretty familiar, the kind of, you recognize that type of sound. And so with the left hand, that's where it becomes kind of like trying to coordinate where am I with my right and my left hands, right?
So you just want to give me more weight on it?
And you'll be able to feel it too. There's kind of this area, you know, about, there's kind of a portion of the string that lies right here, and that's going to be your sweet spot, and you'll feel it. It's the place that is easiest to press down. So you don't need to use too much force, right? And so what you can do with that, pitch-wise, is you can either strike the note and bend the pitch upwards, right? Or you can press, yeah, exactly. You can also press before you play the note, and then, yeah. So these are just like some of the real basic things. So why don't you have a seat here, and we can try playing some of these techniques. Okay. So let's just talk about form. You want to make sure you have a real nice posture, and the right hand, the plucking hand, is going to do most of its plucking in this space right here. So it's going to be pretty close to where the string ends. And you'll get different tones too, depending on where you pluck the string. It's not that it's, you know, not allowed for you to pluck in any of the other places. It's just that the default tone is going to be right here. You'll get the most consistent tone if you're doing like alternating fingers and stuff like that. So why don't we try that first one? Yeah, where you take that nail and just pluck outward across a string. Let's just go one string at a time from the top and just try plucking it, and then go on to the next one. Just to feel the difference, let's do the inward stroke. Let's start at the bottom with your first finger, and you can go ahead and let it rest on the next one. You see how you're like already ready to play that next note. Great. And if you were to do it, you know, really fast, like I would call just raking the finger, right? And it's a little bit different for when you rake, because the way you were just doing it, right? You had the finger kind of stiff, and you were just letting it, you know, you're letting the arm and the hand do a lot of the work, right? That's good for raking, but for individual notes, you also have to let the finger do some of the work too. So that's something just to remember as far as if you're to do any more playing and that kind of things like that. So let's try just to get a feel for like how some of the other techniques feel too. With that first finger only for right now, let's try doing the in and then an out on the same string. Yeah. Yeah, and so you get an idea of, because this is a finger, pretty much a finger only technique, right? When we are raking, it's a lot of arm motion. But you can kind of keep this set up in the same spot. Yeah, let's go slower. I'll try and move that to about right here. It actually can be a little bit further over this way. Yeah. Good. Oh yeah. No, it looked really good. Nice technique. Let's get a feel for what it's like to do that kind of a technique. Remember, this is kind of let's try it a little bit slower. Make sure to feel that moment when I know your nails are a little bit shorter, but make sure to feel for that moment when the nail also hits the string. Feel both the parts of the stroke, the flesh and the nail. Now let's see how it feels with doing the second and the third finger here. It's a little bit difficult because those are connected here. You also want to be careful that this knuckle here doesn't buckle. I don't know if any of my knuckles can do it, that it doesn't buckle too far in this way. Keep it, it's alright that it's going to have a little bit of give, but you don't want it to buckle too far. Curious, let's see how the feels for you. Yeah. So let's do just a couple strings down, and then back on the first finger. Yeah, and try and keep that position. Yeah, and it's just the first and the third finger.
Pretty laundry? You want to do it? I'll do it.
How does that feel for your hand? Is it a little bit uncomfortable, or is it not too bad? I don't want to do like any technique that hurts your hand. So it feels okay. Okay. Yeah. Cool. You want to do some pitch bending stuff? How about let's do this green string here. Yep. Let's try with the outward strokes with the right hand. And we're gonna try with your left hand going a little bit further out. Yes. Now try going like this.
Can you share one? Give me a good one then. What is this one?
Yeah, and go a little bit slower. Make sure it's really defined, the pitch, right?
Thank you.